Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Old Time Rock and Roll. I'm your host, David Tare, where I've been featuring my personal top 3,000 songs of the rock era from 1954 to 1999. Today I'm up to song number 2797, and that one is You Took the Words Right Out of My Mouth, subtitled Hot Summer Night by Meat Loaf. This came out in 1977. It was released on his album, I think it was his debut album, Bad Out of Hell. I understand this is now one of the biggest selling albums of all time. Who would have figured? But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about. Oh yeah, here's the picture of the album cover. I want to talk a little bit about the singer Meat Loaf. Strange guy, I think. I was never a huge fan of Meat Loaf. I mean, I guess the good things I can say about him was he had a very energetic voice. He had a lot of energy. He did have a good voice. He was a good singer and a good performer. I heard he could even do backflips on stage, even though he weighed about 300 pounds. I don't know how he managed that. But, I just thought he was very vulgar, and I just never really liked, just his whole image, I guess. And I wasn't all that crazy about his music either. But I do have a couple of his songs on my list. This is the first of them. And, it's an okay song. It's kind of a weird song. It starts with kind of like a poetry dialogue between him and I don't know who the woman is. I think it was his girlfriend. She performed on stage with him. I didn't even know her name, but I think they performed together on a lot of their songs. They had another hit which isn't on my list. I thought about putting it on. Paradise by the Dashboard Light. That's actually kind of a funny song. I probably should have put that one on my list. But I don't know. I mean, this song you took the words right out of my mouth. It starts with this weird kind of poem where he first thing he does is he asks his girlfriend on a hot summer night would you offer your throat to the wolf with the red roses, and she keeps saying yes, and like, would he offer me his mouth, would he offer me his hunger, all this stuff. He keeps saying yes, like how devoted she would be to him, like she'd laid down her life for him. And then finally after all that he says, I'll bet you say that to all the guys. Kind of crazy, but anyway, that was him. And yeah, I'm gonna go through his hit songs. Well, first, maybe I should say a little bit more about him. He was born in. I didn't even realize this. He was from the South. He was born in Dallas, Texas, in 1947. He died just a couple of years ago, in 2022, in Nashville, Tennessee. So I guess he was a Southerner. I didn't even realize that. But I'm just going to go through his hit songs. In 1971, that's when he had his first Hot 100 hit. It was called What You See Is What You Get, went to number 71. 77, he had the one I'm featuring today, You Took the Words Right Out of My Mouth, which went to number 39. Just barely made the top 40. He had his biggest hit later in 78 called 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad. That went to number 11. And then later that year, he had Paradise by the Dashboard Light, which I mentioned earlier. That one also went to number 39. In 81, he had I'm Gonna Love Her for Both of Us, which went to number 84. And then I didn't even realize this, but he had a big comeback in the 90s, apparently. He had a number one song. I didn't even know about this because I kind of stopped listening to popular music in the 90s, so I got out of the loop. But he had his biggest hit. I think I misspoke earlier. 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad wasn't his biggest hit. His biggest went to number one. It was called I'd Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That. That went to number one in 1993. I believe it was number one in about 8 countries. And I don't even know how big a number one song it was. In 1994, he had Rock and Roll Dreams Come Through. That went to number 13. In 95, he had I'd Lie for You, and That's the Truth, which also went to number 13. And finally, in 1996, he had Not a Dry Eye in the House, which went to number 82. So those were his hits in the USA. And he, besides, having a lot of rock and roll hits. He was also in a lot of movies. He was a pretty big movie star. I learned something else new. He was actually the first movie he was ever in was the 1962 version of a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical called State Fair. I actually watched this movie once. I think I saw the original, which was better than the remake. Neither of them were that great, but I saw the 1962 remake, which also starred Anne Margaret, I believe, and a few other popular teen stars of the day. But apparently, I just learned that Meat Loaf had a very, very small role. He wasn't credited, but he was one of the boys in the stands at the state fair. Apparently, go figure. And then, the one I think the one he's probably most famous for was the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This came out in 1975. This is kind of a cult classic. I have some bad news about this movie from my own personal life. One of the teachers at my high school actually got murdered while standing in line to go see this movie in San Francisco. I guess some crazy fan killed him. I don't know why. And To make matters even worse, I never saw this in the theater, but when I was at the University of Michigan, right after my girlfriend decided to break up with me, to make matters worse, she decided to go with 8 guys from the house I was living in with her, because we'd already made plans to move into this house before she decided to break up with me. She decided to go out with 8 guys from the house to see this movie. I didn't go. Because I told her that, I had a teacher from high school who got killed in line. She didn't care. I think she was just trying to rub my face in the dirt by going out with all these guys. She was fooling around the whole semester. It was bad. It was a bad semester for me. But anyway, enough drama in my own life. But I did finally watch this movie on videotape maybe in the 90s. I probably should have saw it in the theater because I heard it's a real theatrical experience. It involves a lot of audience participation. Kind of a weird movie. I don't know if I still want to. Maybe if I was with the right crowd, I'd go see it, but I probably wouldn't see it again. I wasn't all that crazy about it, but I do remember Meat Loaf's role in this movie. He had a kind of a strange role. The movie, most of the movie takes place in this haunted house, and he comes out on a motorcycle, riding his motorcycle throughout this big, huge haunted house. Kind of a strange scene, but it was entertaining. Different. The whole movie was very different, but I guess I kind of liked him in that because it was different. But then what else did I see him in? I don't even remember him in this movie, but this was a really good movie, Wayne's World. I love this movie. Classic with Mike Myers and Dana Carvey. Wayne's World, party time, excellent. I love those guys. But I don't even remember Meat Loaf's role in this. Maybe you guys can tell me what he did in that movie. But I do remember Alice Cooper. They got backstage passes to see Alice Cooper in concert, and he did pretty good. I don't remember Meat Loaf in it, but apparently he was in it. And the other movie I saw him in, this movie I really hated. This is probably one of my least favorite movies of all time, Fight Club. I had a friend who wanted me to watch this movie. I promised him I'd watch it. He even wanted me to give him a report, like a 500-word report on, like a critique of this movie. I don't know why he did. He loved this movie. I don't know why. So he recommended me watch it. I rented this movie and I thought it was just horrible. It's not my taste at all. I didn't get the point. Just a horribly nihilistic and just senselessly violent movie. Not my cup of tea at all. But those were the only movies I saw him in. He was in several others. I think he was in some pretty other famous ones, but they didn't really appeal to me. He was in Americathon, I believe, in '79, and he was in Roadie in 1980. I don't know. He's in some kind of strange movies, but anyway, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Meat Loaf, but I do like a few of his songs, including the one I featured today. You took the words right up out of my mouth. So that's my that completes my video for today on You Took the Words Right Out of My Mouth, Hot Summer Night by Meat Loaf. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. You guys rock, and I'll see you next time. Bye.